I'm John from Impact Gym, and I'm here with Anthony Crolla, Cash, Liam and Josh. Cash, is there anything you want to ask Anthony? Fire away.
Can you not hit me in the nose again?
So basically we've got Cash, who's at the beginning of his pro career, who sat next to someone who's very highly decorated. What's it like to actually get in the ring sparring with him? Is that...
The timing was another level.
Yeah.
It was good. I learned a lot from it, so it was good learning.
Does it make you realise where you need to go?
Yeah. There's levels to it. I sparred a British champion last week. I sparred a world champion today, and there's completely different levels compared to where I am to the top. Completely different levels. There's everything about it, different shots, selection, fitness-wise, timing, distance, the lot. So completely different level.
So what's your thoughts, Anthony, on somebody who's had his first pro fight?
I was speaking to Cash just like speaking to Liam the other day, and mentioned the timing there and judging the distance, and with more experience as you're improving, that's something you become a lot better at. And when you start judging distance better, you know, your timing's just better. You're not using up as much energy, so you're a lot fresher for the rounds and stuff like that. But these boys are doing the right thing. I was very similar at an early stage in my career, travelling around, getting the best sparring I thought I could. And that's what it is, and it's good sparring, and I'm getting stuff from sparring the boys as well. I'm working on things. It's you'll see some young pros going around, and they're going around with trainers, and they're in sparring, but they're in sort of too deep where they're not learning much from it. These boys are learning from it, and I'm learning from it as well. And I think that's what it is. It's smart sparring as well. You know, we're thinking what we're doing, and I think that you can only improve through that. And these boys, all sat with us here now, they've all got the right attitude for that. I mean, you're saying you took the day off work, you know, to come here, and if you can just take a little bit away from today, which makes you slightly better, maybe 1% better, then do you know what I mean? Or it helps your training slightly. It's worth it, isn't it? So I think the boys are doing the right thing.
Impact Gym's got one lad on your new new venture. It's quite refreshing, and it's a really good idea to kind of promote, you know, these guys who are not normally going to get an opportunity. Who come up with the idea? And
it's I mean, I've been honest, I was just I'm just one of the ambassadors, but I knew about it, and obviously I wouldn't have put my name to it if I didn't think that it wasn't a good idea. But like I said, there's a lot of young professionals out there who struggle selling tickets, getting themselves out there, and hopefully that, what you mentioned then, that open box rate, it's like it can give them a platform to build on, and with that, that's worth more than just a decent payday, because then it makes it a little bit easier selling tickets in the future with future fights, and maybe attract sponsors. Sponsors plays a big part in a young professional's career. I say it all the time, but a lot of young professionals out there don't realise it costs them to be a professional boxer. They're out of pocket being a professional boxer. I saw it a few months ago, a young talented amateur lad I know, and he's just thought, I've had enough. And listen, I don't blame him. He's not through anywhere. I'm skinned. All my mates every week have got money. He says I'm absolutely skinned. People don't realise unless you're with a real decorated amateur who's going with one of the big promoters, then it costs you to be a professional boxer in your first few years.
so just going to kind of Josh and Liam, just to be sat here on the same sofa as and how does that kind of sum up?
I go watch him fight very regular. I don't miss one, but I have got one question for him. So
yeah.
So you've had some of the biggest nights going. I mean, for me, your fights with Linares are out of this world. But so what big night have you got? Like, where do you see one you want?
Yeah.
I don't want you to call, but I'm not asking you to call people out. But if you,
no,
so
totally. Like you're saying, sort
What do you mean don't call nobody out?
No, but I know what you mean. You're thinking like, what's the ambition? What's the fight
what's
now?
next?
Do you know what I mean? And obviously, like boxing 2 weeks on the Anthony Joshua Joseph Parker bill, and that's going to get confirmed today. It's
an exclusive.
Yeah, it's. I think it's going to be editor and Mays, but it's not confirmed yet. A Mexican lad. And my plan is to, obviously, it's got to make sure I come through that then there's big fights in the summer. There's talk of a World Super Series at lightweight. Obviously domestic leg, there's Luke Campbell, both on the verge of world titles, or one of the world champions, you know. So like I said, what's the ambition? Mine's for another big night like that. When you have those big nights, you want more of them. And I'd love it to be in Manchester. I mean, if you have to travel, I have no problem in that. But like you said there, that's like the thing. That's the pinnacle. And I still believe I've got those big nights in there. And if for any reason I can't make that, then that's when I'll step back and I'll think, you know, I love boxing and stuff like that, but obviously if I start thinking I'm not improving no more, I'm not still capable of competing at the top level, I'll step back.
Yeah, well, we're all looking forward to it.
Nice
Anyway,
one, no, thank you.
What do you think, Liam? Anything you'd like to ask him?
I just think what's that feeling on these big nights? You know, like when you're on the big occasion.
Yeah.
Like, what's the feeling beforehand and after?
Do you know, without sounding cheesy, it's really like living the dream. Like every time I fight at that arena, I was going to that arena from a young kid. From talking like before Ricky Hatton, like, do you know what I mean? Obviously I was there for so many of these big nights, but I was there before Ricky, you know, the arena days when Naz was there.
Yeah.
Obviously Carl Zagis, Michael Morris. So if you're a young professional, if you're a young amateur boxer, you know, a young schoolboy boxer, you dream of having those big nights, and I just think how fortunate I am. I mean, fortunately I've worked hard for it, but that for me, when I walk out, nothing will ever beat that, you know, and everyone's singing your name.
Hometown number
That's
4.
it, yes, that's it.
That's the best.
Yeah, when their hometown glory drops.
Yeah.
And
I'm having that when I fight with Mark. I'm licking that.
It's a good one, yeah.
It's the best.
So, that's what it is. For me, it's like living the dream.
Did you
So,
how did you cope with like obviously in the gym everybody has off days.
yeah.
How did you
Everyone
cope with constantly pushing through them off days and just keep it going?
That's it, because that's the finishing line. That's what, you know, that's the only, and you've just got to think it'll be worth it. Every fighter in camp has off days, and there's times where you've got to be better. But I know now, I think I've been a professional long enough not to take those personal. I remember early on in my career, I had an off day, and I felt like I'd lost a fight. Something I'd had an off day, I'd had a bit of a bad spy getting caught. Whereas now I know that's part and parcel. You can't be firing every single day.
Just one. Who got you into boxing?
My dad is an ex-professional
Yeah.
boxer. So when he was younger, when I was younger, sorry, my dad just keeping fit, retired, long retired by then. And there's no one to mind me, so I got dragged along to the gym and you pick little things up. And as a kid, I was only ever play a bit of football, getting cross country, and it was like, loved, you know, anything sort of competing, and I took to boxing really quick. So I went with my dad, and then we sort of pick up the basics, and then I remembered just before he was 11, when he was 11 you could fight. Then I just remembered a few months from my 11th birthday. Got took back to the gym, and then within a few months after the first fight, and that was it really, yeah. And that was so probably my dad. I mean, my mum took me as well. So it's sort of in the family.
So
when did you know you were going to win a world? Like, you don't know you're going to win a world title, but realistically, so there's a lot of young pros and they'll set the sides. What point did you think I'm going to win a world title?
And early on in my career, that looked very, very unlikely. I had a couple of losses, and it looked very unlikely that I was going to do that. But I never stopped believing where I could get. I knew it was a matter of transferring the gym form at times into under the lights. And obviously, when moving to Joe, that played a huge part. And Joe got me believing in myself more. And yeah, that was it. And listen, with any fighter winning a world title, you need that little bit of luck as well. And fortunately, I got that. Listen, I had the first world title fight, I got anything but that way. One when the fight got postponed, and then the second time where it seemed to be a draw when no one else thought it was. But in the end, you know, in some way you get that bit of luck in, and that was it. We're just sort of working hard, and that. But I never stopped believing I could get to that level. To top fighters who got to that level, and I thought, well, if they're capable of it, I'm working every bit as hard as them, if not harder. So why not? Yeah, that was it really.
Jamal, just sparred with Liam Smith.
Good rounds, seen it.
He looked a bit sharper this week. I saw him kind of bringing you in.
Yeah. It was good this week. It was a bit different from last week. I kind of like stood my ground last week a bit more, and and I think he was. From last week, I stood my ground and Liam was more on the back foot, whereas this week he was coming forward and I was on moving. But yeah, it was a good sport. Always awesome.
Is there anything to say to Anthony? Any questions?
Question. Put me on the spot now.
No worries.
Just what key advice would you give to a young prospect coming up?
You was out, I think, the room when they were saying it, but
Yeah.
Like you're saying there, that's great inspiring with Liam, and I watched Liam, and Liam's massively talented. He makes things look so easy, but he's so clever.
Yeah.
So clever, and that's the kind of sparring I think we want.
Yeah.
Because you're having success as well, and I was just talking earlier, you get some young pros, young pros or amateurs who are aspiring to pro, they're not getting much from it.
Yeah.
But you are getting much from it, and someone like Liam, there's a lot of learning to get, from it, and you're doing the right thing. He's just out. He wastes very little, Liam, as you wastes very little. Timing's very, very good.
Yeah.
And that's it. You can just try and take a bit of that away. And you just fight.
Definitely, because the 2 weeks that I've done, I definitely feel like I have learned.
That's it,
loads.
definitely. And Liam's a great person to learn from. Like I said, he's very crafty, very clever.
Yeah.
Scott will say as well as how clever Liam is.
Yeah.
He'll see him like draw you into little traps, and then when you see, how's he got me with that?
Yeah,
But he's very good, and that's great sparring. That's great sparring.
Got a nice little spar today. How do you find that?
Wasn't too bad. Just trying to slow my pace down, not getting good weight there.
He's famous for hiding.
Don't like cameras, man.
Any questions you'd like to ask Anthony?
Who was your five?
Good question. Good question.
I think chances are going against Jorge Linares, but learning from him, certainly the first fight, it was the right man won. It was very competitive, very close at Warren pretty much. Second time he beat me well, and it was a bit hard as in because I really believed he could turn it round, and I didn't, and he beat me well. For the first time in my career, I got beat convincing. Not just beat, I got beat convincing, but I genuinely done everything asked of me in camp. So you know what it was? It was like dust myself off now and try and come back better. And I believe sharing the ring with him has made me a better fighter. Do you know what I mean? I've learned from that, and obviously I've got to keep going. I've come back last time out with a decent win, but I've got to just go out now and show that as well. But yeah, Linares is world class. Probably a future Hall of Famer with the freeweight, and we'll see. He's got Lomachenko, but a freeweight world champion.
What's your thoughts on Lomachenko?
It's I can't wait for it. I mean, I'm seeing Liam Smith might be on that night, so it just depends whether I get to it or not. But if not, I'll get to it. But for me, it's the fight that I've always, if I could pick one fight in boxing to be made, it'd be that. Do you know, my weight as well. And obviously, I'm friendly with Linares now as well with Yorkie. But you've got two of the most complete boxers in my opinion in boxing. Do you know what I mean? And the first time Lomachenko, Regondo, technically unbelievable, but he was so much smaller than Lomachenko in acting. Whereas now it's a little bit different with Linares, and I can't wait for it. I cannot wait for it.
If Lomachenko convincingly beats Linares, it's going to put him.
Yeah,
his stock is just going to go absolutely
sky. He's an
sky.
unbelievable fighter, so Lomachenko can do that. It's of course, yeah, he's rising all the time. He's becoming sort of one of the new faces in boxing, isn't it? And we'll see. I mean, I'm all for Linares can do it, but it's a fight that I can't wait for. But I think anyone who likes boxing, proper boxing fan, will do the same.
So here's the fuel then. So Dylan White Brown.
Good question. I think recent form, White. I think recent, with recent, activity as well. White's improving all the time,
Okay.
but I mean, Luke's has got that big equaliser for sure, hasn't he? But yeah, Dillian for me, he, since the AJ fight, I think he's improved a lot, sort of technically, and he's becoming a lot cuter as well, for an heavyweight.
Talking Swiftland to AJ and Parker.
I think AJ inside the distance. I
Yeah.
just think stylistically, to cause AJ problems, it's going to take a lot of movement. I don't see Parker being that man, so strong heavyweight, but I don't see him being that man to cause AJ problems.
The world, the what? Sorry.
Asking Smith and Groves.
Yeah. Yeah, Smith and Groves.
Yeah, no, can't listen. It's a great fight. It's a great fight. Obviously, I think Callum will start slight underdog after George's impressive win the last time out. But
Was that an impressive win? Was Eubank hyped up?
Was impressive. Well, possibly was. Possibly was, but Groves dealt with it very well. And as the fight was going on, I felt stupid. I think I tweeted something about them. I remember as they got in the ring, I'm not like a big gambler, but do you know what I was saying to him? Get your money on it. I just saw it carved up well, looked so different from the way in. And I just started in the build up I was saying, Groves does everything better jab, bigger guard, a punch on, better wind. So I don't know what was sort of making me lean towards that. Sort of lean towards Eubank at the time, but he done everything well and he studied it, and I thought the difference was going in there with a game plan and culture, and that's what he done there. Shane McGuigan got Eubank Jr. down to the tee and he took away that right uppercut that Eubank Jr. liked, and I thought Groves was very impressive. I think Callum asked a whole lot of good questions.
So we've talked about some of the minor fights. So the big fight what's coming up is the well, I won't say world, but the title fight with my man Josh April the 7th at King's Hall. Who's going to win that one then?
Just today. Put me on the spot, but no, this is, again, real competitive round with Marcus. And I think Marcus is a very talented kid as well, do you know what I mean? He had a few blips that last year, but he's come back. And he's one who just starts needing to believe in himself so much more. Good sort of hard sparring, but again, it's sparring you're learning from. Scott knows better than anyone. You know, you keep having hard sparring, you just all you do is just running yourself into the ground.
So was Scott a decent boxer then?
Scott was, yeah, we nearly crossed paths a few times.
Yeah, you were mentioning that in Van. He said that he would have kicked your ass, but I'm not. I don't want to like cause any trouble or anything. But you did say that, didn't you? I didn't. Check him clean it. He didn't. Something like.
I've seen the posters. And
I actually heard him say I'd fight him now. But anyway. Anyway, well listen, thank you very much. These boys from Impact, I'm sure they appreciate this, and you know, thank you.
Next week will be our last week up here. And
Yeah.
then get ready for fights then.
Yeah, I'll see you next week then.
Right, thanks guys.
You know.
Oh, we didn't ask. No, we said it not.